Terraria has a lot of items because a lot of them just don't hit the mark. This is not one of those cases. These are the vampire knives. These are pretty well known in the Terraria community, but in 1.2, vampire knives.
What happened?
So in early 1.2, the vampire knives got a lot of nerfs, but in my opinion, those did absolutely nothing to them at all. But anyways, I don't want to waste your time. Let's get right into it. Now, first, to get the vampire knives, you have to kill. I know that's not too hard for most of you, but still. So to get the vampire knives, you have to get the Crimson Biome Key, which is a 0.04% chance to drop from any mob in the Crimson. For some people, that'll take an hour. For others, it'll take a week. And for the lucky ones, you'll get it randomly out of nowhere, not even knowing what a Biome Key is. And for those people who don't know what a Biome Key is, I gotta ask, what's it like to have sex? If you don't have your virginity, I implore you to look away from this next part. So once you have a Biome Key, you have to beat Plantera, and once you do, you can go to the dungeon and find the chest tailored to your key. For this case, it's the Crimson one. And by opening this chest, you get the vampire knives. Okay, you can open your eyes now. Look at the fun knives shooting on screen. Oh my gosh. Now, this is where these differ from most of the items I normally cover on this channel, because these things are special and not in the same way that I am. These things are called vampire knives for a reason, because not only are they knives, but like a vampire, they will suck you dry of life. I could have phrased that better. With no monster weapon, it'll shoot out 4 to 8 knives, with each of them doing around 30 damage. And for each bit of damage done by the vampire knives, around 7% is going to be brought back into you to heal you. This is the mechanic that made 7-year-old me use only this weapon for years to come. Now, to test this, since you have to fight Plantera to get it, I used Chlorophyte Armor, and these are the accessory I used. Now, you don't have to use these if you're using the vampire knives, but this is just what I came up with, and it worked for me. So against the King Slime, you already know what happened. Now, I did all this in expert mode, which you can tell because the Eye of Cthulhu goes through 3 phases. So I did this all on expert mode, which you can tell because I have a 6th accessory slot. Okay, moving on to real bosses. I said real bosses. Okay, so we're stuck with this guy right now. Against a boss like the Destroyer, the vampire knives are not gonna do anything amazing. They don't have any pierce, which some people might think is weird. But again, you heal yourself with every single shot done by this. It's meant to be fighting one target at a time. While it is hitting a bunch of things at once, the Destroyer just has far too much health for it to viably fight it the right way. But if you want to go all the way back and fight the Destroyer with the vampire knives after, you've already grinded a shit ton in the Crimson in order to get the key, and also have beaten Plantera already, which means you also would have already beat each mechanical boss. If you want to go back just to fight the Destroyer with the vampire knives after that, I personally wouldn't suggest it, honestly. They're not the best against it. Out of all the mechanical bosses, which I fought all of them with the vampire knives, the Destroyer took the absolute longest to do, which is a fucking joke, because it is so easy to cheese this boss. Which brings me to my first bit of advice when it comes to the vampire knives. If you're gonna fight a boss, you have to be prepared for a long fight. They're not gonna do a lot of damage, but you're gonna be able to survive for a very long time, seeing as you're going to be constantly healing yourself, especially if you get yourself a loadout that is entirely focused on damage output. You should not be putting a lot into your defense, because in the end your defense is going to be doing jack shit for you. More realistically, maybe you got the Crimson Biome Key before you fought Plantera, and you fought it, went and got the item, and you're coming back to make it a little easier so you can grind for some item like the axe or something. Fighting Plantera is really nice. It's smooth. It's like a hot knife through people. Now, on the other hand, Golem took a long time, honestly. And since it's Golem, it was a pretty annoying fight. I took almost no damage, so because of that, it wasn't really worth it to even have the vampire knives. So, for stuff like this, don't use it. If you're having a fight where you know you could beat this thing, but you are constantly losing health, the vampire knives are absolutely perfect for that. Or for anything else that is not Golem. But when we get down to it, the fight that you're always going to use it for, and honestly the best fight for it, is Duke Fishron. He does a lot of damage and can be really hard to dodge at times, so having a weapon that heals you as you fight is extremely helpful. For all these fights, I did not have any buffs, but I did have health potions in my inventory in case I got low. For no other fight though, I used the health potions. Duke Fishron was the first one, and the only reason I used it was because in his final phase where he turns invisible and dashes at you, I took damage 2 times and was almost dead. If you're good at it, you can dodge that and not even use a health potion for the entirety of Duke Fishron Expert Mode. And personally, I'd say that's a very impressive feat for the game. The spread, the healing, even the range of the weapon, even though the range isn't that good, is almost perfect for this fight. Duke Fishron is always going to be close to you. He is always going to be a little annoying to hit because he's going all over the place, but these have a really nice spread to them. And it's because of that I would highly recommend using the vampire knives for Duke Fishron if you're having troubles. So in the end, would I recommend the vampire knives? Honestly, yes, 1,000 times yes. These are so fucking good. You could nerf these 1,000 times and I'm still going to use them because the life regen is fucking amazing. I actually love this weapon. As you approach your fight with the Moon Lord, it's going to get outranked because everything else does so much more damage than it. So really, the life steal's not going to be fully worth it anymore. But still, almost all the way up until the cultist, and probably even during the cultist for most people, this is so highly recommended for me. Easily the best way to use this item is going to be damage optimization. You want to do as much damage as you can because it's going to help you a lot with sucking off everyone. Oh my god, I said it again! Hey, I don't make money off these videos because of that. I consider you guys my sponsor because that would be helpful if you could like, subscribe, and if you want to scream into the empty void, you can leave a comment. Anyways, my finals are finally over. I'm going to be doing a lot of videos within my Christmas break and stuff like that because I have the time to. I hope that all of your Christmases, or if you don't celebrate Christmas, Hanukkah, or Kwanzaa, or Ramadan, or any other winter holiday, I hope it goes well. So, for everyone out there, happy holidays. Video's over. I'm watching you. Bye.